Hi guys, and welcome back to Dave's Game Room. Today, we're taking a look at a Christmas present that my awesome co-host got me for Christmas. Mike, how's it going, mate?
Hey Dave, how you doing, mate? You alright?
Doing really well, mate. So, Mike, Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
Christmas present.
I saw this on eBay, some guy selling it. It was quite a reasonable price as well, so I thought, I got to get this for Dave. He's got a Super Nintendo. It's the black cartridge. I never owned it. Can't wait to see it.
That's the freak misfit as well of the Super Nintendo library, because of course you've got all the cartridges on the SNES are grey.
That's right.
So we're at the character select screen, Mike, and these characters I have no idea their strengths, weaknesses, or what they are.
Yeah, it's bringing back memories already. Quickly on this, guys, I will say I didn't even know this was on the Super Nintendo. I can't remember it being on the SNES. I owned the SNES, and I thought this first appeared on the Nintendo 64.
As did I, Mike, and I'm glad you brought that up, because this was originally released in the arcades, and it was a full 3D beat-em-up game, and I remember it actually being featured on a TV show called Bad Influence. Do you remember that back in the day?
Oh, with Andy Crane and
That's the one of
Vanessa Berlin. Oh, Violet Berlin.
Yeah, Vanessa, she's awesome.
Yeah.
And they showed the arcade machine with this being played, and they were talking about what was known as the Ultra 64 back then. It was just so exciting.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But that show was awesome. What is it? She had that sort of lisp, didn't she? The Violet Berlin. Hello. Yeah. Welcome to Bad Influence.
Sega 32X.
That's it.
So yeah, this game then, Mike, I'm going to say straight away is very, very difficult.
Yeah, it looks decent. I've got to say, this is the first time, like I've said, I've seen footage of it on the SNES. It looks decent.
And just to let you guys know, your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. Yes, the scan lines are switched on. So this was recorded from my scaler with the scan lines on, because I want it to look as it did on the old school TVs.
Awesome, yeah, that's cool.
So it looks, I agree, Mike, it looks fantastic. I mean, look at the background. The background looks awesome.
It surprised me. It doesn't look like a Super Nintendo game. Well, it is a Super Nintendo game, but it looks better than I thought it would have. Put it that way, considering Killer Instinct's now out on the Xbox One. I mean, look how fantastic that looks.
It does, yeah. And the main thing with Killer Instinct, guys, is combos. This introduced the concept of multiple insane combos where you could do God knows how many hits, Mike.
That's right. It wasn't the first game, though, was it, of its genre to introduce combos, surely?
I don't think it was. I think probably one of the Street Fighter games that came before this introduced the combos. Yeah, it did. I think it might have been Super Street Fighter 2 that did.
Street Fighter 2 was before this, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I think Street Fighter 2 was a couple of years before we saw Killer Instinct. I actually seem to remember, Mike, playing this on the Game Boy. I think it got brought out on Game Boy as well.
Really? I don't remember that at all.
I think it did. I certainly remember this game. And, it was notoriously hard on the Game Boy, as I'm sure you can imagine as well.
So format-wise, it appeared on many... Did it appear on PC?
I'm not sure if it did. I think because it was made by Rareware, it was a Nintendo exclusive.
That was going to be my next question, was this Rareware? Because it's just got that look and feeling of a Rareware game, actually.
And it's really good. And yeah, you're spot on. I mean, think Donkey Kong Country with the backgrounds and the characters.
Yeah, they were an immense studio, Rareware. They really were. And they put out some graphically incredible games for the systems that they were on, didn't they?
They did, and excuse me for saying this, but this almost looks like it could be on a 32-bit system, Mike. The same as Donkey Kong Country did.
Oh, well, I sold my SNES, but bought one again, like a year later, just for Donkey Kong Country, but just for the visuals, if anything else. And that's it's quite shallow of me, but it looked so good.
It did, and I think this game too is good. But Mike, I'm going to say, as a beat-em-up game, I actually find this game quite frustratingly difficult compared to Street Fighter 2, for example.
Is it tough, is it?
It's very difficult to get used to, but that's not always a bad thing. I mean, if every beat-em-up was the same as every football game, every racing game, it'd be boring, wouldn't it? We'd have nothing to talk about.
It would. I'm not a beat-em-ups fan, to be honest. I don't know if you are, Dave.
Beat-em-ups for me, Mike. You know, we discussed Virtua Racing last week, and we said, pick it up, 10 minutes, put it back down again, that's it. Same for me. Would be
the only two beat-em-ups, I think, in history of my gaming career, if you like, that blew me away and I was addicted and obsessed was Street Fighter 2. I played a lot of it in the arcade as a kid.
Yep.
And Mortal Kombat.
On Mortal Kombat as well, yeah. I mean, I remember Street Fighter 2, the same as yourself. I actually played it on an arcade machine. It was astonishing.
Oh,
played
so good.
Played it on my cousin's Super NES as well. Mortal Kombat 2, I actually remember playing on the PC because it was
Two
demo
was
disc.
a lot. Yeah, 2 was a lot better than the original. I adored that. I just loved the adult theme of it. It was very gory. But yeah, apart from that, I can take or leave beat 'em ups. This looks good. This looks fun. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't hold my interest for long.
No, so it was hard to keep playing it for the 10 minutes, let's put it that way, Mike. That's normally my limit with fighting games, but don't get me wrong, guys, it's good. If you like beat-em-ups, especially ones where, just mashing buttons isn't enough, because I'm going to say this right now, it completely destroyed me, this game did, because I'm one of those button-mashing fighting players. I'm not someone who understands and really cares about the moves,
Yeah, the thing is, fighting games do have millions of followers, and they've got got a cult following. The beat 'em up genre has, and it is about learning the combos and when to execute them.
Yeah, that's right.
If you don't, sorry, I was just gonna say, if you don't know the combos, you're buggered.
Basically, you are, especially if you play against an experienced pro who's been playing fighting games like Street Fighter and Tekken for years, and you do what I do, you mash buttons, you're going to get your ass handed to you on a plate.
Yeah, you just reminded me, that's another one I adored, Tekken 2 on a PlayStation.
Tekken 2 on the PlayStation was fantastic. I loved it.
I can't believe I've left that one out. So they're my 3 fighting games that I was addicted to, but apart from that, can't really say I've really played a lot of other fighters.
No, you and me both, mate. You and me both. So, what was I going to say about this?
Yeah, what was you going to say if I rudely cut you off?
No, it's all good. Just really, Mike, the fighting genre, do you think there have been too many fighting games?
Yes. There has been. The problem with fighting games for me, the 2D fighting games, the one-on-one fighting games, I'm not talking about Final Fight, sort of. Can you remember that, where you actually move, and Streets of Rage?
Yeah,
where you actually go
and beat 'em up.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
I loved those, but they're not in the same category for me. The problem they've got is it's difficult to improve on it and to bring in and execute new things for me.
Totally agree.
How can you really build? I mean, it's a limited genre, isn't it?
It is very limited. And for me, Mike, the laughable thing is we both love Street Fighter 2. We do. How many different versions of that game was there? I mean, from your normals to your turbos to your super turbos to your, oh my god, to your championship editions.
That was Capcom taking advantage of the fan base, because I had a mate, Paul, and he bought every single Street Fighter that came. I was like, Paul, why have you got Street Fighter 2 Turbo? It's just like not that different to Street Fighter 2. It's got a few extra characters and that, but generally it's the same game and you've just paid another 40 quid.
Yeah.
But it really took advantage of its fan base, Capcom did, with that hugely.
Yeah, so we should also touch on the fact that Killer Instinct was reimagined, re-released, redone on the Xbox One. Mike, have you had a chance to check out the Xbox One version of this game?
I haven't at all. I've seen it being played in game when the Xbox One, the week of its release, is being played by a kid on a pod.
Oh yeah,
and it looked decent. Don't get me wrong. It did look really decent, but not for me.
No. I was going to say the same sort of thing, really. Basically, graphically, it blew me away. It looks astonishing. But again, it's not the sort of game that I would go out of my way to spend time playing and, learning how to play and learning the moves. It's just not for me as well. So it's a shame because it looks damn good. But yeah, I'm the same as you on that one. I find fighting games a bit shallow.
Yeah, a tiny bit. Well, it is off subject of Killer Instinct, but the Xbox One releases were quite bland, some of them, with Rise, which again was just shiny, looked great, but very shallow. Forza 5, was it Forza 5?
Forza 5, which initially was very bare bones. I have to give Turn 10 credit. They've increased the car count, and I think they've also increased the track count now as well.
They have, and the amazing Forza Horizon 2 makes up for it, and then Killer Instinct as well. So yeah, again, that's for me. It's just lazy developers. They'll bring out shiny, and it's like touching on what we touched on last week about bringing out a game again in HD.
Yeah, it is. It's basically like a reimagine, isn't it? There's too many reimagines.
Yeah, there is. There are. Resident Evil being another example. But yeah, Dave, it does look frustrating.
It is, yeah. You've seen that I've had a few game overs and continues and tried different characters. Because I'm used to the way Street Fighter 2 flows and the way Tekken flows.
Yeah.
I found this a bit frustrating, a bit disjointing, and that's not to say it's a bad game, because it's not. I think if I figured it out and actually did have time and a desire to play this game, I probably would enjoy it and possibly complete it.
Yeah. These games were at their best. They came to life when you took the day off school, your parents were at work, and you got a load of your mates around the house.
Yeah, totally agree. Absolutely.
Controller each, and
Yeah.
the winner stays on. That's what we used to do.
We used to do that too, me and my cousin and some of his mates on Street Fighter 2, and it was
Yeah.
fantastic. I loved it.
That's when these games come to life. It's not the sort of game I even want to play online against someone who I can't see, who I don't know. It's just, it doesn't do it for me at all.
But then online play and lag will kill a beat 'em up game. Straight off. Just kill it.
Yeah, it would, big style. But I'm really impressed with the visuals of this. It looks fantastic.
Super Nintendo, mate. It's amazing. I'm so glad I got one and I'm looking back on it, because you said about you wished you had a Mega Drive on our Christmas special and you thought the Mega Drive was better. I'm the other way. I think the SNES was better.
Yeah, the SNES had an amazing collection of games on it, and the tech was pretty decent as well. But I still prefer the Mega Drive games that were on the Mega Drive looking back, personally.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.